Hi everyone, this is Tim Nye, CEO of Catholic Charities, San Bernardino, Riverside counties. I'm excited to hear with Council Member John Echevarria. And John, welcome.
Thank you very much, thank you.
This is a life of service that we're going to talk about today, and just some inspiration. Really grateful to have you here. And let's just go back. First off, you're the council member now of District 4.
Correct.
And will you tell us a little bit about the district itself?
Correct. So my name is John Echevarria, and I'm excited to be on the show today. Catholic Charities has a special place in my heart, and I'll get to that in a moment. But I am a council member now. I'm on my second term with the city of Colton. I represent District 4, which is the southeast corner of Colton, Cooley Ranch, Retchie Canyon area, and I've been there for 5.5 years now, and I represent 15,000 constituents.
15,000 constituents, but also it used to be called District 5. There was a change there.
It was before, yes. When we were at 6 districts, and then we consolidated down to 4,
Gotcha.
And now I'm down to District 4.
Okay. And, I read a little bit about you. So you have, your criminal justice was San Bernardino, but before we even go there, you grew up, where did you grow up exactly?
So I was born and raised in the city of San Bernardino. I'm very proud of that. San Bernardino has a very special part of my heart, place in my heart, and it always will. I was born at the old county hospital, 900 East Gilbert Street, which has since been replaced by other county buildings. But this place, I've always been in San Bernardino, and I was born and raised in the west side of San Bernardino, more specifically the housing projects, which was off of Maple Street, Altura Street, and Cabrera Avenue.
And I read a little bit about you. So your mom was quite the inspiration in your life too.
She was my complete inspiration.
Complete inspiration from your mom. That's wonderful.
Yes.
Tell us about it.
So my mom raised me as a single parent. She had boyfriends in and out, and after my father I was born, he left my life.
I see.
I don't have any memories of him except photographs. And he was the father of me and my sister, Teresa.
Okay.
My older sister had a different father, and my younger brother had a different father. So Teresa and I were very close. But my mom raised us here in San Bernardino, and she lived primarily off of public assistance.
Mm-hmm. It's really personal, but when you were in public assistance, I know what I read was your mom always told you that with education, that you can do anything, and you really took that to heart. But did you ever have those moments where you felt down on yourself or your family for being on public assistance? Was that ever a thing?
I was very embarrassed where we lived. I used to lie to our coaches and have them drop me off at different houses. I would point out a different house and say, that's where I live. They would pull over, drop me off, and I would run towards my housing unit. But it was very embarrassing. It was challenging. The clothes we wore them over and over just to get to school and whatnot. But I was very proud of my mom. My mom was a high school dropout. She dropped out in the 11th grade and didn't have any more education beyond that. So what she did for us was, in those times, the discipline was harder. So we would physically be disciplined if our grades ever dropped.
You and I grew up very similar. Let me just tell you, Catholic family, and I had sister Ursula. I never forget her. My grandmother from Aguascalientes, actually. So is praying the rosary, and man, when you were in trouble, you were in trouble.
Big time.
Game over. And wait till your father gets home. In my case, but it didn't matter. My grandmother, my father, my mother, all in the house, and it was big time discipline. 7 brothers and sisters. We weren't wealthy. We had Catholic school uniforms and some of the similar clothing. But I love this story. So you'd run home with the coach. The coaches would drop you off, run home. But so proud of your mom, and so she must have been working really hard.
She
Take care
did.
of you guys.
And as I mentioned earlier about Catholic Charities having a spot in my heart, my mom volunteered here.
Oh, no kidding.
She did. She worked with our next door neighbor who was Beverly Earl.
Oh, yeah.
And Beverly has since passed away, like my mom has. But they were best friends, and those that know the projects, it's 2 units next to each other. We were right next door to each other, and we grew up as our families as family. She always had work for my mom. My mom would come here and help with the separation of canned goods, folding clothes, ironing clothes, and just doing anything that she can to help out to earn that community service. And then she would go home with bags of food, and that would be our meal.
Interesting. So, you know, I've been here a short time. We've been around for 45 plus years, and Beverly's a legend to the organization. We still have volunteers that show up and people that show up just to say, I think her daughter came by too, maybe 6 months ago, and just, you know, she's a legend. She'll be the lifeblood of this organization forever. And we were talking about it on a recent podcast that when you volunteer for an organization or work in an organization, you're just part of that organization forever. Just like your legacy, you're always going to be part of the Inland Empire for sure. I'm more of an outsider, you know, coming in, but I have staff members here that, you know, went to school and lived just down the road and still do, some of them. So this is, that's the Inland Empire, that feeling of connection throughout the entire Inland Empire.
We're very grateful that you chose the Inland Empire. And another story, if I could share, about Catholic Charities that was very close to my heart. I'm going to estimate 5-6-year-old is how old I was. But at that time, my mom was having some very hard financial difficulties. We didn't have a Christmas tree. We didn't have much that year. And we were honestly preparing to just skip Christmas. And that year, I remember it specifically because on our front driveway, the front curbside, the water would gather from the gutter, the sewer area. And a black Chevy Blazer pulled up full speed, and the water just gushed into the grass. But what I remember most about that black Chevy Blazer was 2 gentlemen exit the vehicle. They popped the back window of the Blazer. They took out 3 black trash bags, brought them to our door, and they said, "On behalf of Catholic Charities, Merry Christmas." We opened the bags, and they were full of Christmas presents that were gift wrapped for the holiday, and we cried for hours.
Oh, I'm sure. I had a similar experience when I was young with my son, a young father. And it sounds like you're describing the Knights of Columbus, driving fast in the black car. So this is such an intriguing story. So you and Teresa, but did you live with your mom and the other brothers and sisters?
Yes.
Okay, so she's got a full load. You know, what is it? 4 kids.
4 kids. I'll say different boyfriends, and she was just trying to keep us out of trouble. It was a rough neighborhood. We went to sleep every night in those days with the helicopter overhead, gunshots, and just a lot of crime happening in the area there in the housing project. And we woke up in the morning, we saw contraband in the clothesline, in the driveway and whatnot that was left behind. And our mom just really kept a good, close eye on us.
May I call you John?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so what a breadth of experience you had really understanding the community based on your childhood alone. So you could have gone any direction. You know, you were in a situation where you could have gone any field. You had this mom as a mentor, yet you chose to become go into law enforcement.
Yes.
And also a coach.
Yes.
So where did you get your source of, aside from your mom, where did you get your source of mentorship? Was it the coaches that you had?
No, I think it was my uncles.
Okay.
Some of those uncles did go on to different paths in lives, and some went to prison, some worked hard, and some did different lifestyles. So my mom was one of 9 as well, so we had a big family, and in those days, you were taught to be tough, you were raised to be tough, and I'll say it too. Another thing is we were trained not to care for law enforcement or the government. We didn't trust the government, so I never imagined a career in law enforcement or working for the government. And since I love it very much, being a police officer, I absolutely, genuinely love my job. I go into work for free on my days off.
Oh wow! So let's talk. Well, that's impressive. Let's talk before we even go there. So you decided to go to one of my favorite locations that I've come to know is the San Bernardino Valley College. They're amazing.
That's awesome.
Met their new president.
Awesome program.
Tour of their facility. Great people all the way up, and they've got an aviation program now.
Yep.
They've got an EV program, truck driving, I think, among other things, nursing. They're fantastic.
Yes, they are.
And you know what's interesting to me is how many young people that I've met in the area that aren't taking advantage of this
Exactly.
amazing college.
Exactly. It has a great reputation that we wish more would come, and I'm on the foundation, the scholarship
Oh, you are?
foundation.
Okay.
Both of my older kids are enrolled.
Okay.
And it's a great program. It's really good, state of the art, good
So
stuff.
you got your, what I saw was you got your criminal justice degree, and then you went on to get an MPA as well from San Bernardino College.
I got my associates at Valley College.
Okay.
I got my bachelor's at Cal State San Bernardino, and then I got my master's at Cal Baptist.
Cal Baptist. I just literally met with them a couple days ago. They are another amazing college in this area. So we're really blessed with, these great community colleges, and then you've got Cal Baptist, UCR, and San Bernardino.
Correct.
Just what a great. My son went to UCR actually, so I'm kind of proud of that for sure. But why law enforcement? What inspired you? Something must have. You said you were raised differently, and all of a sudden you embraced law enforcement.
Right. We saw how law enforcement treated our uncles and stuff, and a lot of it was self-inflicted. Our uncles were not the best role models. But with the turning point in my life, what changed my life was on Wednesday, June 17th of 1995.
Okay.
And that was a week before my sister was going to graduate from Cajon High School. And her boyfriend were outside after work. They used to work at the old Central City Mall.
Okay.
They came home about 1 in the morning. They're out talking in the front yard. They're making out, and someone came over and carjacked them.
Okay.
Shot them both, killed them, and that was very difficult to deal with. And I was a 16-year-old. The hardest part about it was being forced to take charge of the family because my mom had a hard time with it, but I was the one that was questioned or asked about seizing life support.
I see.
So I had to make that decision at an early age.
Was this Teresa?
Yes.
Okay.
And it was a tough time, but my point was I went back to school, and of course on my head down, one of the security guards noticed me, and he was very, very, very approachable. And he's the one that talked to me about the police academy at Valley College.
Okay.
And I went and enrolled later on, and I was the first one to graduate as an 18-year-old. At the age of 18, I graduated at 19.
Mm-hmm. So you felt a calling, though, for sure.
Yes.
A calling to law enforcement. Well, I'm sorry to hear about Teresa, and
Thank you.
From my belief, being Catholic, I mean, she's smiling down from heaven for sure. You and the family.
Thank you.
And so, speaking of families, is it Veronica?
Yes, my wife.
Yeah, and you guys, I love that you did this. So I hope it's not too personal, but you have the J and the V, and then your kids are also J and V.
Yes. So
and
it's
5 kids, right?
Yeah, John, Veronica, Jacob, Vanessa, Joshua, Victoria.
What a blessing,
Yes.
these kids. And yet, you're volunteering on your days off too, so you're busy. And then you're coaching. What sports are you coaching?
I coach almost everything.
Okay.
Basketball, baseball, soccer, softball, tennis, volleyball. I love cross country. And however else I can help out and give back to the kids.
Right. So it's just so amazing that, I feel very blessed to be here with you and also hear the stories of how Catholic Charities touched your life. And that's what I always like to say in my nonprofit career and for everybody here too, because I will say that it's not, when I look at our team, I just talked about it last week, as the CEO and our executive, we'll call it the executive staff and our admin staff, they're not on the front lines. They're not in front of the client that says, hey, I'm hungry, I can't pay my utility bill, I could lose my home. So those are the staff members that we really need to take care of, and the volunteers who are seeing those things on a daily basis, just like the law enforcement officers who are out on the streets, that are dealing with the community firsthand, and the firefighters, all those folks that are seeing everything right there in front. So I always tell the staff, you'll never know the difference that you truly made. I mean, we may help someone, but we don't know the impact.
Right.
We don't know the real impact on the entire family, or the kids in the family, and that sort of thing. And it is really a blessing and impressive that hearing your life story, and then you turned around and now you're this amazing father with 5 kids, and supportive wife, and also volunteering and doing all these amazing things. So, why politics? That's interesting.
I like to tell people very blatantly I have a big mouth. So Colton Police and Colton Fire reached out to me, and they knew I was living in town,
Yeah.
and they asked me to consider a career on city council and politics. I had no desire, zero. And when they kind of explained what was happening, at first I questioned my boss at home, my wife, and she was all about it. And then I questioned some neighbors just to get an idea, a grasp, and they were very supportive. So I ran my first campaign, grassroots completely, and I won an incumbent 70% to 30%. And then my second, my re-election, there was two candidates, and I won 60, 20 percentages. So
That's impressive because from my experience, it's hard to beat an incumbent in the first place.
And it's the energy, it's the community. A lot of people got behind me. A lot of the kids I've coached, their parents were very eager to support me. So they helped me. We knocked on doors. We did a lot of social media, and I think people just really like the authenticness, the genuality of being a real person and just saying this is what I stand for, and it went well.
If I had to title this podcast, it'd be called "The Life of Service," because of the coaching, your work in law enforcement, and your work in I won't even call it community politics. Really, you're just a servant of the community itself, and I'm deeply impressed. And I just call this a life of service. And I know there's going to be folks watching this. Some of the folks may be really inspired because they can identify with your childhood and some of the things you went through, and yet you turned it around and really embraced the scenario. I actually am a Marine Corps veteran, so I had some self-inflicted struggles, by going into the Marine Corps and living through some hard moments, which builds a lot of character.
It does.
But all of these things that we talk about build character, and it's almost like true American grit to be in a tough situation, whether it's something at school. What would you say now, since we're talking to maybe a young kid watching that was going through some similar challenges or struggling? What would your guidance or advice be?
First, I want to thank you for your service to our country. Thank you so much. And if I could speak to any child out there, any youth, any young adult, just work hard, believe in yourself, never give up. And if you need someone to talk to, reach out and talk to someone. I like giving presentations, and when they come up at the end of the presentation, that little thank you goes a long way because you touched someone, you inspired them, and I didn't really have that, so I love giving back now. I want to jump in real quick, and we talked about how I coach and everything. I love to run. Running is my passion. Working 2 jobs right now, you build up a lot of not so much time for yourself. So running helps me relieve that pressure. But what I don't tell people, my actual hobby is mentoring people, helping people, whether it's with a job interview, a mock interview, helping them with their resume, prepping them for the questions. I didn't have that growing up, and when someone calls me, I wholeheartedly help them out as much as I can because I know they can do it, and I know with the right guidance they will get it. And it's nice to get that phone call or that email later on saying, I got promoted, I got the job, I got the position, and that little thank you makes me feel so much better.
That's fantastic. And so it brings up a really great program we have here. So we believe at Catholic Charities in not just supporting people with hunger relief and healthcare access and enrollment, legal aid, pathway to citizenship program, and counseling. Counseling is really important because, as you know, you can get those small bits of relief, but counseling is really important. But we also stood up a career advisory program, aka workforce development. I like career advisory sound a little bit better because I think you and I share that same sentiment that people are a lot more capable of what they think they are. And so they tend to think, well, maybe I'll achieve X, when you and I know sky's the limit. They can really go out there and do well for themselves. So our folks here are trained at UCSD Extension, which is the same exact program that the County of San Bernardino folks go through for workforce development.
Okay.
So our goal is just what you're talking about, to take folks and say, are you currently employed? If you are currently employed, what's the next level?
Right.
Like, where can we get you? And that's an interesting problem, actually, because you're a proud resident of the Inland Empire, and one of the challenges I've seen, which is really on our government leaders, is what other jobs can we bring to the region that are going to be good for really elevating San Bernardino and Riverside counties. I know everyone's working on it, but I believe we need to really attract strong employers so we can get our youth and even some of our seniors.
Right.
A lot of our seniors want to work too.
Our veterans.
Our veterans. So we've got these great colleges. Now we need some really great companies to come in and help elevate.
Absolutely.
With opportunities. And so, workforce development's there. Counseling's so important to me because even in your story, having a counseling for marital counseling, the stress or resiliency training, anything related to youth to help elevate them. Because I recently had a friend, really kind of get down on themselves because life's been kind of challenging when it comes to finances, and I know how hard that can be. Right. For me, I always do a little bit of course, prayer,
right,
or a lot of prayer in some cases, to really bring me back to center. Maybe I need to run more. I think running is, it's a meditative process to be out there running. So, at any rate, that's really interesting. But bringing it back to career advisory, and I love this hobby of yours. I think you kind of model it in your coaching as well with the kids. Isn't it interesting on the team? If the team, you ever notice this? I noticed this. Both my sons played water polo, and when the parents say, "Oh, that's a really good team," all of a sudden our team doesn't play well because they believe they're going to lose to their team.
Right.
They get this weird psychology going, and I'm like, "You guys, they could have won."
Yep.
But the parents go, "Oh man, the next team is so tough. Oh, they're so good," and the kids hear that, and then all of a sudden they get in there and they don't play at their level at all.
Right.
It's so interesting how the psychology of mentorship just matters, and I think it's really great to hear that you do that in all aspects. What are some of the things on there's I don't want to be controversial at all, but there is some tension right now with law enforcement. You were in a situation as a young child where maybe your view of law enforcement wasn't. What would you say about law enforcement, and what do we need to do to really support those folks, and also the firefighters?
Right. I like supporting and defending first responders because of the hard work, the risks that we take every day. It's a tough profession. The preparation for it, both academies are rigorous, and not everyone makes it through the process. The hiring process is very difficult. It's there to make sure that the right candidates are put in position to serve the community. And then when incidents happen that could be controversial, it sends us all back to, it makes the entire profession look substandard, if you will.
Yep.
So what I enjoy about the community policing part with our chief of police is we want to give back, and trust is a big thing. You lose trust and you're in trouble. So we have to make sure we maintain that trust. And I like going out to community meetings. I had lunch yesterday with 2 constituents at Amapola restaurant, and they had questions for me in Spanish.
Okay.
They thanked me for making time for them, for telling me about their business, and just talking to them. And they told me that at one of our Coffee with the Cops, they knew that I listened to them, so they invited me. We had a great time, got to meet them. We talked about what's going on in the community, and that's what it is. Sometimes the officers or the fire personnel or anybody can give a bad impression and hurt someone's feelings, or just flat out upset them.
Yeah.
And that's what we as supervision will come in and try to make it better.
I mean, we're really one community, and I have to say, as a kid, I remember my dad was in law enforcement as well, and I just remember as a kid, when you were a police officer in the coffee shop, they gave him a free coffee, and it was a really warm sort of environment when I was a kid, anyways. And I still look at firefighters, and a lot of us, I think a lot of civilians don't always think about what they're living through on a daily basis. When I talked to one of my firefighter friends, I think he said on some days they're doing 17 to 20 plus calls in a day. And I said, what's the hardest part? And he goes, honestly, when there's a situation with a child, it is really difficult for them. So law enforcement, and we need to remember this, law enforcement and firefighters and just first responders are going through a lot.
Right.
They're going through a lot. So interesting enough, that might be a great career for someone if they're interested in a life of service. We're speaking of workforce development.
Right.
Moving into something law enforcement related or first responders, the firefighters, it's a great career.
Right. Serving back your community. A lot of times you'll hear from the students in the academy, why did you choose to work for that specific department? And a lot of folks want to work for their homegrown town, their hometown. Where can I go back and serve the community that I grew up in? They care about that city, just as I care about San Bernardino and the city of Colton. So it's rewarding to drive around in that police car and know that you're protecting people that need the support.
And that's where I think Catholic Charities ties in really close, because we should be all working in concert. So city officials, local officials, federal, state, and also law enforcement, firefighters, all of the nonprofits that are out there, not just Catholic Charities, but all the faith-based organizations, all the amazing churches. I think there's one, the Water of Life is amazing, really big congregation. And also, of course, all the other non-faith-based organizations,
Right.
the IHP Foundation, all doing great work, but we really need to work in concert
Right.
To take care of the community. And when I think about it too, I don't want to do work that just is the handout which helps that person for the day. I'm more interested, and I think you are too, in doing something that elevates people with dignity out of a situation.
Right. And it
Right.
starts with the leadership. When your officers or your team sees that you're out there and you mean what you're telling people and how you're helping them and you're working with them cohesively, whether it's a vendor booth or it's just a community event or a parade or whatnot, when you're out there genuinely interacting with the community, your team sees it. They recognize it and they say, if he can do it and they like him, I will do it as well. Just as we do it here in Catholic Charities. When you help one person, word gets out that it's a resource, and they come back, and we don't close the door, we don't turn people away. It's because we have a calling to answer to. We're helping others, and it's a great feeling when you go home at the end of the day.
Exactly. And that whole story you shared about the Christmas gifts and what we're talking about assisting, we're realistic. We're not going to be able to help every single person the way we'd like to, but it's that starfish analogy. You know, we're able to help one really elevate, or a few people really elevate and change their lives, and that's really important for us. And I also think it's important for nonprofits in general in this region, and it's happening where we partner not in a way where Catholic Charities tries to own everything. No, we need all our natural partners to complement our programs and services and jump in together to the equation. So, folks, if you're watching, just want to thank you for watching this now. Please like and share. But I also want you to remember, as our council member said, if you're in a time of distress or you see someone in a time of distress, reach out to your friends, to your family, co-workers, talk about it. Be aware and help get them some support. They can call 988, they can call 211, and of course they can call Catholic Charities as well. We're here. If we can't help someone, we're going to refer them out to a place where we can help them. Real excited about the work that we're doing and the connection that we have with other nonprofits as well. And this is a great podcast about a life of service. I'm so grateful that you're here today to share about what, very humbly, by the way, of all that you're doing and supporting. If someone's watching and you're on the other side of this and you want to mentor and support, we have programs and services you can volunteer on the workforce development or career advisory side, or just get involved, and even board membership spots as well. We have some of that going on. And anyways, I want to thank you, council member, for really coming out and to talk with us and share your stories about Catholic Charities.
It's my pleasure. It was an honor.
Yes. So thank you, everyone, for watching. Please like, share, and help us get the word out there. And thank you, council member John Echevarria. We really appreciate you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you very much.